Hurricane season starts on Monday and runs through the end of September.
And which way does it? Forget it. Christian Bridges is here to tell us what the season is expected to look like. Hello, Christian.
Good morning, you guys. Yeah, out here on this beautiful Wednesday morning, warm weather here. Yeah, a sign of things to come with hurricane season beginning on Monday, of course, June 1st, and it runs until November 30th later on in the fall. So going to likely be a below average season. That's what the latest forecast from NOAA is calling for, and we'll talk about the reason why that is in just a moment. But here's the forecast for the hurricane season. You can see typically we see about 14 named storms. The forecast calling for between 8 and 14, so most likely ending up below that average of 14. Same story with hurricanes. Average is 7. We're forecasting 3 to 6 for this season, so again below that normal level of 7. Major hurricanes, the average is 3. The forecast is for 1 to 3 major hurricanes. Of course, that's a Category 3 or stronger storm. So that's the current forecast. Here's a look at the naming list for this year. There's one new name on it. Of course, these naming lists are reused every 6 years. So this was last used in 2020. In 2020, we had Category 4 Hurricane Laura. That was retired and replaced with Leah. So that's the one new name on the list if we manage to get that far down the name list later on this season. So the reason why it's likely to be below normal, El Nino. It's developing right now. It's likely to be very strong, potentially one of the strongest El Nino events in recorded history. El Nino is the atypical warming of the Pacific tropical waters in the East Pacific. So when that water is warmer than normal, it gives the Pacific a more active hurricane season and also just creates a lot of rising air. Warm air likes to rise. All that warm water warms the air up. More rising air. All that rising air has to sink somewhere, and it usually is sinking over the Atlantic. That suppresses hurricane and storm formation. So that is why El Nino years typically have below normal activity, and especially a strong one. That's why the odds are pretty good. In fact, a 55% chance we deal with a below normal season. However, of course, only takes one storm. Doesn't matter about the total seasonal number. It only takes one big impact to lead to a really impactful season. The last hurricane landfall in New England was 35 years ago. On average, we typically see a hurricane landfall every 10 to 15 years in the region. So we're kind of overdue. Same story with major hurricanes as well. So again, it only takes one storm. Always a good reminder to stay vigilant for hurricane season, which again begins on Monday. Live on the deck, I'm meteorologist Christian Bridges for News Center Maine.